So Rebecca was posing a question to the family this morning. What did Yahshua talk about at the time of the Feast of Trumpets when he was here? And the answer to the question was basically the resurrection. Because Yahshua said here the day before trumpets, "This is the will of Yahweh, that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him may have everlasting life. And I will raise him up at the last day." So then Maggie asked, she said, "Oh, so is that right then what the Christians say, that all you have to do is believe and then you will be saved," basically? And so then we were trying to answer the question. When it says believe here, it doesn't mean just like believe that he exists or acknowledge that, just say it with your mouth that he is the Messiah and then you're going to go to heaven. It actually means that you are supposed to actually, if you believe, that you will actually do what he says to do. And that's what belief implies in here. So I was trying to make that connection. So the disciples asked after, this is right after the miracle of the multiplying of the bread. And they were thinking about that bread, and that's what was attracting them, the people, to Yahshua at that point. But he was telling them, "Labor not for the food which perishes, but for the food which endures to everlasting life." And then they asked, "What shall we do that we might work the works of Yahweh?" And Yahshua answered and said, "This is the work of Yahweh, that you believe in him who he has sent." And then Michael Rood makes a connection back to the mountain of Moses when the first covenant was given and the commandments that were given there. Because at that time the people didn't want to listen, or they wanted to listen, but they didn't want to hear the literal voice of Yahweh. It scared them. And so after he had spoken some of the commands, then they said, "We're afraid, we don't want to hear anymore. So tell Moses what you want us to do, and then he'll tell us and we'll do what he says." But then Yahweh promised, he said, "I am going to raise up a prophet from among you." This is referring ahead to Yahshua. "And I will put my words in his mouth, and he will speak them. He will speak all that I shall command him." So he promised that he was going to send Yahshua later, and he was going to put the words from the mountain into Yeshua's mouth. And Yahshua would come to the people later and speak those words. And he said, and if the people don't listen to the words that time, when Yahshua will speak them, he says, then that man will be judged according to his compliance with the words of that prophet. This is from Deuteronomy. And so it doesn't say that you will be judged as to whether you believe Yahshua exists or believe that he came from Yahweh. It says you'll be judged according to whether or not you're doing what Yahshua has said to do.
Right.
And Yahshua himself said that he doesn't speak his own words, he speaks the words that come from the Father. So basically Yahshua came to speak the same words that Yahweh was speaking on the mountain. And the expectation is the same then both times, that you would hear and you would obey and do what he's saying to do. So therefore, it's not enough just to see and acknowledge that he exists. It says everyone who sees the Son and believes in him may have everlasting life. And he says to the people, "You have seen me and yet believe not." So he wasn't saying that the people don't believe he exists because they've seen him, so they know he exists. But what they're not doing is believing
and doing what he said,
what he came to say, believing what he's saying, and that he is from the Father, and that he did come to speak those same words and give those same instructions. Wow. They don't believe that they're supposed to be following what Yeshua said to do. "And it will come to pass that whoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will make diligent inquiry of him, and he will be judged according to his compliance with the words of that prophet."
Where is that?
That's Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy what?
18, verse 19.
And then where are you reading right now? Matthew or
Oh, we were reading from John 6.
so the Christians tend to take. We used to take just that one verse and basically have a whole entire religion built off of that one verse.
Because this just gets lifted out and reinterpreted, and everything else gets ignored. Definitely not getting the whole story.